get the frames, you want to know that each of them has a very coherent story. And that story, if you get the story and the ideas that are in that story, it'll be a lot easier to grasp the frame. So we've got 4 frames. The first is the structural frame. The structural frame looks at organizations as being factories or machines. They're production units. And in a production unit, you've got lots of different components or parts. And in order for the organization, the factory, to be productive, you need to have most of the parts in good working order. And you also have to have the relationships or the linkages among the different parts working right so that most of the time the gears mesh instead of clash. If you look at leaders from a structural perspective, then the leader becomes both an analyst and an architect. The analyst's job is to collect the data you need in order to understand what's going on, and the architect's job is to design new ways of doing things, procedures, structures, systems, roles, whatever it is that you need in order to be able to do the job better. The human resource frame looks at organizations in a different way. Instead of thinking about them as machines or factories, the human resource frame says, well, what organizations really are is they're like extended families. And the extended family image tells us that a couple of things are really important. One is the quality of human relationships, the relationships people have with one another. If your experience of family is at all like my experience of family, you've noticed that when the relationships go well, family is a great place to be. When the relationships go bad, family can be terrible. Same thing is true at work. A couple of people who are powerful don't get along very well, and it messes up everything else for people in the organization. The other thing that the idea of family implies is some idea of reciprocity or mutuality in the relationship between the individual on the one hand and the system or the organization on the other. Does the organization provide individuals with the things that they think they need in order to feel satisfied and productive? If not, one or both is likely to suffer, either the organization or the people. The leader in this context is a catalyst who gives people the resources, enables people to do what they need to do, and also a servant who serves the best interests of the place and the people. Still, a third way to think about an organization, the political frame says, forget the machine, forget the family. What organizations really are is jungles. They're places rife with conflict, with different species that have very different interests and are continually in conflict with one another. And most of the important decisions that have to be made in an organization involve allocating scarce resources, who gets what. And the leader in that context then needs to be a warrior, an advocate, and a negotiator, someone who can go out and fight on behalf of his or her unit or department or whatever it is that you're trying to lead, and can be an effective advocate for the interests of your group, but also who can negotiate with other people who are out there on the same playing field. Finally, frame number 4 is the symbolic frame. And the symbolic frame says, well, organizations are really more like theaters and temples. That the theater image goes back at least to Shakespeare's Jaques and As You Like It, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. And one way to think about what's going on in organizations is that we're all both participants on stage, and sometimes we're audience members in creating and acting out a variety of dramas. And those dramas give us meaning and an understanding of what's important and how we need to function in order to make things work. And the leader in this perspective is a prophet and a magician, someone who can help us understand the possibilities in the future and can make magic happen.